Let me start this little update with a quick racing report. We're starting the Chasing Cup, and that's been a battle all year long. 26 hard-fought races, and now we got 10 to go. Both the 18 and the 11, Denny and Kyle, are ready to go. And this is going to be an exciting chase because I think everybody in there has a chance to win it. So we're going to be battling away as most of you race fans kind of follow us. We're excited about that. In Nationwide Series, we continue to set records. Kyle Busch wins at Richmond. That's 10 wins this year in Nationwide. That group over there has been doing a great job. Motocross, Justin in California, we just finished the year. He finished 8th out there overall, and Les Smith, who was filling in for Davey Millsaps, finished 10th. So we're getting ready now. We'll be going to Anaheim. It won't be long, so we'll be back motocross racing in Southern California. Quick update on Game Plan for Life. I know a lot of you out there have been prayer partners. I really appreciate it, and I want to share something with you today. We have our small group study that we came out with Lifeway, and we have all 11 chapters, and it's presented, I think, in a great form. We use some football examples on the football field. And we had Derwin Gray and myself did some introductory sessions for the 11 different topics in the small group study. And that's all out with Lifeway now. You get both editions, all 11 topics. As a part of that process, we've been speaking in prisons. And of course, as part of Game Plan for Life, our speaking outreach. And I received something that was really exciting for me. I spoke at the prisons in Orlando. And as an example, I got back after we had left and spoke and gave my testimony. They had done the small group study in prison. And this is an example. This is 23 letters I got from prisoners. And most of them sharing with me they had either made a decision for Christ, or they had strengthened their walk with Christ, or they had made a commitment when they get out of incarceration to go back out and start living for the Lord. I was so excited about this. And so I just ask each and every one of you out there if you can help pray for that speaking ministry. Or if some of you out there may be in a city where you feel like you would like to be a part of a ministry where we come and speak and give our testimony, we think it's the most effective thing I've done in speaking to reach out to the unsaved. Basically what we do is we come to the city, we form a committee. That committee then will pick 100 table hosts, and we put it on a grassroots level. Those table hosts will be able to invite predominantly unsaved men to come that morning, and we're hoping to have in the different cities roughly 1,000 in attendance. That's been roughly what we've been doing. We've been choosing not to do it at a church, which is an intimidating site for a lot of people. We do it at a local hotel or a convention type center. And so we really say to people on the invite, it's easy for a table host to say, hey, look, we're having a free event here. We give you a free breakfast, a free book. Joe will stay and sign the books, and he's really going to kind of give his feelings about life. And I think it's an easy invite. It's been, we're getting ready to do 3 in a row here coming up at cities. It's been an exciting thing for me. And I mentioned we also make the small group study. We leave that in the cities after we leave. So anybody who would like to be a part of that, please contact us at GamePlanForLife.com. We also have the Zondervan Project underway. It's going to be a small group study Bible that we're going to be coming out with, a devotional, and a Game Plan for Life Bible. So any prayers that you could give us along those lines, we really would appreciate it. I was kind of studying what I really kind of wanted to share with you from a devotional standpoint. Something kind of jumped out at me. I was studying in Joshua, the first chapter, the 3rd verse, and really what God says there to the nation of Israel. Here's what he said. I'm going to give you, and I want you to take possession of the promised land. Now that total area was 300,000 square miles. He said, here, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to be there with you. I'll help fight whatever fights we've got to have, but I want you to take this entire land. 300,000 square miles. Now that's big. And Israel, with God telling them and promising them they could take the promised land, Israel wound up taking, the most they took was roughly 30,000 square miles. So really what Israel did, they got roughly 10% of what God had promised them for them to have. I got to thinking about that, how about you and how about me? How much am I getting out of what God has promised me that I could have? And my greatest fear is someday I'm going to stand before the Lord and He's going to go, you know what, Joe? You did pretty good. You got roughly about 10% of what I had for you. And at that point, I'm going to panic. And so I stopped and thought about that. How about you? How much have you been promised? Are we claiming everything that God has said? Do this. Okay, I'm with you. Do this. I'm going to give you the strength. I'm going to make it possible for you to claim these things that I'm giving to you. And so that's kind of my fear, and I'm speaking to myself here. And so then I think the other part of that little study was, okay, if He says He's going to give this to you, okay, what are the keys then? What should we do? And we know in Joshua 1:9, he first says to Joshua, he says, hey, be strong and courageous. So He's saying to you and I, be strong and courageous. Step out. I'm with you. So He tells us how to be strong and courageous. Okay, is what He's saying. He says, be strong and courageous. Then He says how. The first thing, do not let my word depart from your thought process. Okay, always be focused on what? The Bible. He's given us a game plan for life. He says, do not let this depart from your mouth. In other words, always be focused on my word. So you got a game plan, make sure we're studying. And then he says in Ephesians 6, put on the full armor of God. Okay, every morning, I kind of try and say to myself before I get out of bed, I try and picture myself, okay, putting on the full armor of God. And so he kind of lays that out there. We should be a peaceful person. We should take the shield of faith, which we can ward off the fiery darts of the devil. We should tell the truth. We should put on the breastplate of righteousness, confessing each and every sin. Take His word as our sword, and then put on the helmet of salvation. Get prepared for the spiritual battle. So those two things, he says, are critical. And so I think he lays out the game plan for us. He made a promise for us. And the question for you and I, are we claiming everything that He's got for us? That's kind of a little thought out. I was really speaking to myself there. I hope that maybe some of you might think about that, and it might be something that would mean something to you also. I want you to go to, we really love you to go to GamePlanForLife.com. Some of the new things that we have on the website there, we have during this month, and we're kind of looking back in the past. In 1974, President Ford pardoned Richard Nixon. Okay, and so the article there takes a look at forgiveness, okay, in our lives. I think that might be interesting for you. We have the top 10 Cal Ripken Jr. moments, and that kind of refers back to in our study of life on purpose. We should all be living a life on purpose.